Morning. My question is, do you know anyone have their Google business page or Google business profile blocked by Google? There are some, legal issues maybe. So this is happening. And my good friend Ray Torres, right here from Onset Media, we're going to talk about that today because Ray has many small business people reached out last week that their business profile, Google business profile, was taken down and is very serious. So let's talk about that. My name is Sean Bhatta from Remax Residential. I'm a real estate team leader and Tom Ferry coach. And again, my friend Ray Torres from Onset.media. Ray, how are you doing?
Good, man. How are you doing is the question.
I'm doing good, but I just heard this, it's kind of, scary, disturbing because we depend a lot on Google, with that, especially these days, the Google business profile is very, very important tool for a lot of businesses.
I mean, again, even when I think about businesses, the medical providers, people rely on people being able to go do a search on a mobile device, go to the location and hit map so they can get them to the location.
Right.
So on. And again, but thank you. Great introduction there, Sean. Good to see you again, man. Good morning to you. So one thing I'll tell you, man, it's a really big deal. So what Google is doing during this summertime of 2022, they're in the process of looking at the listings and investigating. So again, and there are guidelines when you create something. Let's say, for example, when we created our Facebook page, we scroll to the bottom, says, yeah, I accept, right? When we created our Instagram page, we say, yeah, I accept. So with Google My Business, it's a different animal, right? So what they're doing, they're tightening up and making sure everyone's secure, everyone who are who they say they are. If you're a provider that provides a service and you're located in XYZ, they want to make sure you're there in XYZ. They want to make sure you're there. So they have tools, as you may imagine, right? To showcase to them, to tell them if, hey, guess what? This is a legitimate address. This is a legitimate brick and mortar. So, and over the years, marketers, including myself, we've actually utilized certain addresses that worked out well for us, where it's great. If we provide Google an address, we say, great, guess what? Here's an address. You're good. Please verify our listing. I'll get a postcard in the mail from that listing at that wherever I'm located at, PO box, mailbox, business, home, whatever it is. And now my listing is officially verified. So again, that's been the norm for many, many, many years. So in the last couple it's been longer than just this time, but it's just affecting a lot more people as they're going in waves. So here in South Florida, let's say. So what's happening is they're actually going in and they in the process of suspending accounts. So when we have several medical practices as well as non-medical practices in our industry for Onset Media, and guess what? We're seeing those practices get suspended for no reason. And then we're seeing on the other people getting suspended that are blue-collar workers, we call them, right? The richest blue-collar people in the world today, which are air conditioning folks, our plumbers and so on, that a lot of them don't have a brick and mortar. They work from their truck or their house, whatever it may be. So when they created a listing, for some reason, they would utilize a PO box, Regency, one of these virtual offices. They don't really have a location, but they utilize that information to tell Google, guess what? I'm located in, let's say, Miami Beach, and this is my address, and this is where I should be servicing because that's where I'm at. So, and that yet they don't tell Google that they don't see people there. They kind of make it, they don't follow the guidelines. And again, I'm going to always refer back to the guidelines because the guidelines change every day. And I want to tell you a guideline and knowing that it can change tomorrow. You go to that Google My Business guideline by go to business.google.com and you'll be able to see and read the guidelines as you're creating your account or reviewing your account. So the problem is that when you put an address on there and then Google asks you a question, are you able to service people from your business? And that's the key thing there. So again, local SEO means if I'm local, I need a shoe shop, I'm going to hit, need a shoe shop, you're going to pop up. Okay, so and if you put, so when you're creating a listing, it's asking you, are you seeing people in this place of business? What has happened in the past, people will say yes, because they have a PO box, they have that zip code and so on. And just imagine Many people have all zip codes or cities throughout the world that utilizing PO boxes, and they're saying, wait a second, they're not there. They're servicing that area, but they're not there. So they got pretty smart, and now they're actually go ahead and hitting the owners of those profiles that says, wait a second, if you're not a brick and mortar, then how can you see someone there? Because we see 15, 30, 20, 50 other businesses with the same thing, and some have suites, some have PO boxes, some have so on and so forth. They know, if Google knows everything. Let's not think they don't. They know if your location is not a brick and mortar location, because they actually to reconfirm it is a brick and mortar. Send me a picture. Give me some more information. Send me whatever it is. Send me your address, your bill, utility bill of that location. And they actually literally request for this. It's just to confirm that you are a viable business at that location. So you're not just ranking to be in Hollywood, Florida, or Hollywood, California. So these are things that you have to make sure that you do, is you make sure that if you're servicing the client or your customer or whomever you are in a specific from your office, you put from your office. Done, you're great. But if you're not, be honest, because they will find out and you will be affected. And then they will shut you down, suspend you, because you are no longer seeing businesses from that location anymore, because you haven't been. But there is an option to say, hey, I don't see people in my office. I actually go and service them. I go to this area, I do a service. I do service over here. I'm here to deliver or give them whatever they need because I work out of my house. That's okay also, but just be honest about it.
Yeah.
Put your address down. You're going to get a verification. But again, remember, you're telling Google, hey, I don't see people in my address, which some of us don't, right? I actually go to people's place of business. At that point, now you're being honest and say, okay, great. You know what? Awesome. Thank you very much. We'll go ahead and start the verification process. So again, and then, so once you have that and you're good, great. And then you get a verification, or you get your information relisted and so on. You're going to go back and says, hey, let me give this a try and let me put it back to where it was so I can continue to rank in that city, in that area. Perfect. They will suspend you again. And not that they'll only suspend you, they can cancel, remove your account. So when you're blacklisted with Google, it really affects your business. And I could tell you from one or two of my medical practices that were really affected because of their Google Maps profile. Again, not necessarily just their business listing, because we know that's big, but Google Maps is huge as well. Because now what happened is Google My Business has made so many changes. Let me tell you one of the big changes that also occurred. That application that you have on your phone for Google My Business is no longer alive. Now you have to go to search options. So you go to search on your phone, and if you're a manager of that listing, you'll be able to edit it and manage it. You go to the desktop version, it's different. So these are things that's happening. I mean, it's like there's so many changes right now in the Google universe. And it's exciting. It's also a lot of work, but it's something that you just got to keep on top of. So if you see an email from Google, I'm going to tell you, the most important thing is pay attention. Read and reply. If you can reply, find out. So on. Do not just let it go and just say it'll be okay. Because if, for example, if one of my clients decided not to pursue that or let anyone know, their 118 reviews would be gone, and they'd have to start all over. And 118 reviews is not easy to get, just so you know. So it's important and imperative, the fact that you kind of pay attention and you kind of respond. Hey, you know what? I'm looking to be able to reinstate my account. This is what's going on. Hey, how can I fix this? You know, they're gonna refer you. They're not gonna tell you, well, you did this wrong, you did that right. They don't do that. Google doesn't do that. Well, I haven't seen that. What they do is, what I've seen is they tell you, go to the guidelines and make sure that you are following all the guidelines. Because they want to make sure that you understand as a business owner that those guidelines to be on their listing, which is Google, has to be 100% accurate.
Yeah, so no, it makes really sense. Important. Because look at this, it's my business profile. If I see, people at my business, and then people go there and they don't see me, that's not right, So be honest with Google. Don't discard any email you're getting from them, any warning email, especially for YouTube or Google business profile. So pay attention to that. If you don't understand.
Let me remind you, one other thing is the fact that they don't ask for permission. They don't say, hey, we found something wrong. Can you fix that? They don't do that. I can tell you that right now. Yeah. So as a person in the industry, when you get emails, when you get something that just comes up saying, hey, your listing has been suspended without waking up in the morning, you're like, what do you mean? What happened? Yeah. And there's no one person says you can call and says, hey, why is this thing not working? No, what happens is normally you're frantic, you go crazy, you try to reach out to them whatever way you can, and or you reach out to someone in my role to say, hey, how can you help me?
Yeah,
Again, I need help because this is what's going on, and I utilize this as a source for business to
yeah,
get new business. So big
exactly.
deal,
Yeah.
pretty big deal.
So bottom line, don't discard those emails, and then you know who to reach out. And that's pretty simple. So, and it's very important, as Ray mentioned, like you can lose all the reviews, and then someone going to search and say, this particular business near me, you're not going to pop up because Google already took you down.
So remember, realtors beware because again, realtors accounts for so many businesses in this world, in this country. I mean, so many. So be aware, and again, just make sure that you all follow the rules, or even kind of reach out to Sean. Sean does this, he has his own firm. I would definitely reach out to someone that knows, is aware, because I know there's a lot of firms out there that are not really there; they're somewhere else. So, and they have these broker accounts. So just kind of be aware of these things, just so you are aware. I'm no expert in that area right there when it comes to those other locations, but again, I just want to let you know that there's some things you need to kind of keep an eye on.
Yeah. Great information. Thanks, Ray, to bring this up. This is very, very important for all of us to know. Thank you very much for that. My friend, hopefully this information is going to help you to build your business to grow. Give us a call if you have any question. Our phone numbers are right here at the bottom of the screen. And talk to you guys soon. We like to help you. Let's grow together.